Still got the mustache worm tied down out here. This down tree has a bunch of crappies around it, and I've been catching a good number of them. There's a nice one right there. This is actually by far the, not by far, but it's the biggest. I just did get one close to this size. That's a, you know, that, ah, shit, spiked me. That's almost a respectable sized crappie, you know, out of a good lake right there. I caught a, you know, a lot more like 5 to 6 inch ones, and then one just a bit smaller than that. But I've caught probably a dozen here, and not many more than that casts. They're all just coming out and hitting it all around that tree, all around. There's another like that's a branch or something, or stump of another tree, or maybe the bottom half of this tree actually, because it looks like it kind of twisted off. But just kind of letting it fall right next to that. Right next to the trunk, giving it a lot less action in the retrieve for these crappies. Sometimes putting it on on the other side. Of course, I might have beat it up already a little too much before I turned the camera on, but I may just cut it at this point if I don't catch anything else. But otherwise, I'm gonna keep fishing with the camera on. But if I don't cut it, or if I don't catch anything, I'll just cut it short here. Something looking at it right now. Just following it in. Wind's picked up a little bit more now too. I can see one hanging out underneath where that branch is sticking up. Could be one that I just caught though. You never know. Little, get out of that. Ugh. Little bluegill. See if I can slide down a little bit to where more to the top of the tree. More right over there, and see if we can get anything off of that end. I kind of beat this end up pretty good. Let's see if what we can do up here. Little crappie. He ate it though. Little crappie. Oh, he almost got me with his spikes. When they take a jig that deep, you should always check your line and make sure you don't have any abrasions on it. You know, it's only 2-pound line I'm using. It doesn't hold up to a lot of abuse like that. Got something a little coming in fast, a little bluegill. That's a small bluegill. Got a bunch of like roots hanging out, growing out into the water right here. We'll see. There's probably something in there. There is. Nice bluegill. Having a lot of fun fishing. Ooh. Always worried that when they shake and I'm grabbing for the jig head, they're going to put the hook right in my fingers. There we go. Little bluegill. And it's bad enough putting a hook in your finger anyways, but if it's attached to a fish that's thrashing around, that's no fun for anyone. So I'll definitely have a link for these in the description if anybody wants to try them out. I'm using a 64th ounce jig with a number 8 hook. I think ideally you'd be using a number 10, but yeah, I mean, if you're getting into bigger crappies and bigger bluegills and stuff like that, you want the 8, because a couple of those crappies, the big ones that I caught, came right off. They weren't hooked that well on the small hook on an 8. So it's a nice little one. But they have a tendency to stack up in the wood like that this time of year, and that, you know, in that size class. I think everybody that targets crappies knows that in the spring they stack up in wood like that, and it's date wise it's probably too late for them, but weather wise it's, you know, a lot closer to, like, normally they'd be doing that around here like late April, more so like late April, or mid to late, no, probably late March, early April, as soon as ice goes out. I'm just going to keep the camera rolling, and if we keep catching fish, you'll keep watching. If not, we'll just cut it off at some point. We'll try this tree up here. It's got a lot of brush and vegetation and everything all around it here. Something, a couple fish looking at it. Probably little bluegills. I can't really tell what they are. Kind of dark. They could be crappies, I guess. Ooh, I thought I had one. Ended up hitting a piece of grass in there. I think they might be small. They're kind of hitting it, but not wholeheartedly. There was a little one that grabbed it. If you were going to, like I was saying earlier, if you're, you know, thinking about using these for open water like this, I would recommend, you know, a 64th ounce jig head and either an 8 or a 10 hook. You know, if you're hitting bigger fish, you could even go up to like a 6 hook if you had a small jig. I've got some I actually have some 1/80th ounce number 6 hooks that would probably be really good for this if you were using it for crappies. Or if you're gonna try and vertical jig it, like off a boat or something like that, or off a pier, maybe use an ice jig to get a little bit, you know, a little more control over it. There's a crappie right there. He looked bigger in the water. I thought he was a good one in the water, just a little one. He looked a lot bigger in the water when he was going after it. But he's kind of hanging out on this branch a little further down, and as soon as it hit the water, he turned and went after. Let's see if there's any more out here. I lost a leg. We'll just run this thing like that now and see if we can catch a couple fish on it. I got some schmutz on there. That one crappie went right back to where he was. I'm betting this will still catch fish with just the one leg. I'm a little curious if it will. I think it still would, but we're gonna find out. Oh, something out there hit it. I'm gonna flip back out there again and see if it'll come back. Something got it. I don't know if it was the same fish or not. It was a little one. That might have been the same one that hit it the cast before. Let's see if anything's in this hole. I gotta tuck a bandana under my hat to try and keep my sun off my neck and my ears, and the wind keeps blowing it off, and I keep trying to fix it, but it's just doesn't work really well. I don't like using like the neck gaiters or anything like that. I don't like how tight they feel. There's a little one, a couple little ones. I don't really want to try and keep it away from them. Looking for something a little bit bigger than that. Well, at least that one managed to tangle me around my rod.
Look, you caught a fish. Look, baby.
What?
Touch it. Touch it.
Look.
Wow. Right on time.
Yeah.
Look.
Little bluegill.
Touch it. It's a fish. Oh, push it back. Thank you.
Yep. A little further down here is the like if you see where that tree is where those people are right there, that's where there's a bit of a spillway drainage that dumps into the canal, and there's a bunch of